What if I told you that the US military actions in Venezuela last month and Iran over the weekend aren't really about removing dictators or stopping nuclear weapons, but something even bigger? The system that helps support $38 trillion of US debt, the petrodollar. Stick with me. Over the weekend, Donald Trump ordered airstrikes inside Iran that reportedly killed several senior figures in the country's military leadership. Most of the coverage has focused on the political fallout inside Iran, but the bigger impact may actually be in the oil market. Because Iran isn't just a geopolitical rival, it's one of the world's major oil exporters. Before the strike, Iran was exporting roughly 1.5 to 2 million barrels of oil per day, and about 90% of that was going to China. And here's the key detail. Much of that oil wasn't being settled through the traditional Western financial system. Iran has been cut off from SWIFT, the global banking network used for most cross-border payments. So many of those transactions happen through alternative systems or non-dollar currencies. Now, here's where it gets interesting. For decades, the global oil market has largely revolved around something called the petrodollar system. Since the 1970s, most oil around the world has been priced and traded in US dollars. That forces countries that want to buy oil to first obtain dollars. And that demand matters. Oil exporting countries accumulate those dollars and often recycle them back into US assets like treasury bonds. Now that process, known as petrodollar recycling, has helped finance US government borrowing. In other words, when oil is priced in dollars, it creates global demand for dollars. And global demand for dollars helps absorb US debt. Now let's look at the geopolitical angle. Two of the largest oil exporters operating outside the dollar system have been Venezuela and Iran. If Venezuela ends up with a new government aligned with the West, and if Iran eventually transitions to new leadership, those oil exports can move back into the dollar system. That means oil sold in dollars, payments moving through SWIFT, and billions more flowing into dollar-denominated assets. At a time when the US government is running trillion-dollar annual deficits, that demand becomes incredibly valuable. So the real question might be not whether this is about nuclear weapons or authoritarian dictators. It might just be about the currency that underpins the global financial system.